Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night segment of The Outer Realm. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM from the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM from beautiful New Orleans. We are fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee who have been a part of our journey for the last several years. So thank you, Folgers. We couldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. Also, big thanks to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind our logos here at the show. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram. Also does amazing commission pieces, even though he specializes more in the Halloween and horror genre. So, Rumble seems to be offline from what I've been hearing from Carol Ann, the show before us. I'm not quite sure why, but it's just offline. So I apologize. I'll make sure the show gets uploaded there when we're done. We're still on Roku. We are still on X. We are still on 3 different YouTubes, a couple of Facebook pages. So we can still see your comments. So don't be shy, especially on X. Don't be shy. I know you all are, and I can tell how many people are watching, but nobody feels brave enough to comment. So please feel free. Tonight, I am really pleased to welcome first-time guest Michelle Heaton, who joins us to discuss her new book, The Dream Guardian: Sasquatch and The Path to Awakening. Michelle is a Reiki Master, psychic medium intuitive, raised in Nashville, Michigan. She started having reoccurring dreams of Sasquatch when she was 5 years old and basically turned that into a hobby, eventually a lifestyle, and moved to Oregon. Beautiful out there. Anyway, a journalism major in college, published her first book, again, The Dream Guardian: Sasquatch and The Path to Awakening, about her childhood dream and journey and to what it meant to have that calling. And that's been done this year. So you guys can follow her on her Facebook page, Sweet Home. Then we've got Oregon Sasquatch Research Group on Facebook. So lots to cover tonight, and I am looking forward to it. And I see people are starting to chime in, which is wonderful. As always, guys, I will put up your comments. Thanks, Carol. I love it as well. And hello. Me too. Hey, Wayne. So I will put up your comments and any questions. I will flash them and just sort of highlight them, and we'll get to them when Michelle is ready to answer them. So I know we have 2 of us tonight, 2 Michelles. So it's kind of be going back and forth a little bit. Anyway, without further ado, Michelle Heaton. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. It's been a bit of a crazy day, but that's all right. Just building up to this wonderful moment. So, wow. I think we were talking a little bit before you came on about how refreshing of a conversation this was going to be, with so much chaos going around right now with everything within the field. So I think people are going to be very surprised. This isn't going to be your typical show on Bigfoot or Sasquatch. This is going to be a bit of an enlightening journey.
Yeah.
And can't wait to hear all about it. So I have to ask, though, prior to you writing a book, have you had any experiences with Bigfoot or Sasquatch, or it's just come after the fact?
Well, it came way after the dream.
Oh, wow.
So I started having the dreams when I was 5, and they were reoccurring throughout my life. They never stopped. And it was the same dream all the time. But I didn't know what that meant, until I moved to Oregon. And when I moved to Oregon and I started having experiences was when it finally came full circle. And I was like, oh, this is what it means,
So do you feel like it was like a premonition?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was a premonition. It was a calling. It was, I don't know, some kind of like, maybe they were trying to pull me in. They were talking to me like they were actually like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, really. I mean, I'm still new to the actual Sasquatch research, hardcore research.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much. And while I'm learning about researching, I'm learning about myself too. And I think that was what made me want to write the book, was because I was learning so much about myself and
Wow.
healing, So
It,
yeah.
it's huge because when you start getting into dreams, like you have, a couple of different options with this one as well. One, they say if you dream the exact same thing more than once, it's a premonition. Like if all the details are the same, it's something that is destined to happen for you. But then there's that theory, and let me know your thoughts on it, where we don't lie. We don't stay within our body when we sleep. I always say it's like sleeping in the car in the garage. You're
Mhm.
not going to do that. Do you believe maybe that you were traveling to this place and visiting with these beings?
I believe it was something like that, because when I was 15, I started actually having mediumship. And when that would happen, and throughout my life, it's only happened while I was sleeping. So all of the light work, all of the everything, the mediumship, everything it always happens when I'm sleeping. I could be wide awake and meditating and trying to focus on something, and it's just like, I don't know if it's my ADHD or my something is distracting me, but the minute my head hits that pillow, it's like I just go into this other dimension almost, because
Yeah.
that's where everything happens for me. I can't even explain it.
Yeah, it sounds to me like it's more of a traveling experience, where we go home. We
Yeah.
go to these different worlds, these dimensions, these realities, whatever the case may be. So, what was what, I guess if they're all the same, what is the dream like? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, definitely. So, first of all, I want to stress that I remember it started when I was 5, because I grew up in Michigan, and that was 1978. I'm aging myself here, but there was a really bad snowstorm that year, and we got like 8 feet of snow. And there was a truck full of guys that had gotten stuck out in front of our house, and they had to stay with us for almost 2 weeks. They were snowed in.
Wow.
And I had a dream, and I believe it was my first dream, or at least the first one I can remember, happened during that time. So that's how I know that I was 5 when they started.
Yeah.
So the dream, I have to wet my whistle a little bit, because
At your own pace.
I'm getting
Okay.
over a cold. I had a fever like Monday and Tuesday. So,
Oh, I feel you.
right. So, anyways, yeah, so the dream just started out. I was in this really old house, and it had old fixtures, and it had like oil lamps, and you know, beautiful wooden furniture, and a big picture window, and I could see out the big picture window. There's a big walk around porch or something. It's just a big porch, some steps that go down into a yard, and then beyond the yard is like a tree line. And I'm standing in the room, and I'm looking out this picture window, and I see this creature start to walk towards the house, and he walks up the stairs pretty slowly, not aggressively. And he opens up the screen door, and he has to bend his head to go through the screen door. And he comes over and he stands in front of me, and it just scared the bejesus out of me. Like, I was
I
right
bet.
away, I was like, boogeyman. So I turn around and I book it out the back door. And there's things that I can see too as I'm running out the back door that stick out to me, because they're not something that I see generally. One of the things is there's a hand pump for water in the sink. And then also, when I go out the back door and look to the right, there's also another hand pump for water in the backyard. So I run out to the backyard into this field, and the field is like, it's like hay or barley. It's something that's kind of not super tall, not taller than me. I could see over it. And so I'm running through this field, and every time I turn around, this creature is just casually walking behind me because he's so large, he doesn't have to run. I'm just a kid, and he's just making his normal strides. So, and most of the time the dream just ends while I'm running through the field. There was a couple of times it went a little bit further, but nothing, no big points or anything. So I had this dream forever, and it was the same thing. And I would have it really sporadically. So I would have it maybe 2-3 times a week. I could have it a couple times a month, or maybe even just a couple times a year. And I remember when I would have it just a couple times a year, I would kind of wonder, like, where'd he go? I mean, I wasn't terribly sad that he had gone, but also at the same time, I'm like, why did he go? But when I was about 19, I was having a lot of them, like it seemed like every night. And it was really stressing me out. And I was going through a lot of stressors at home. And so I came downstairs one morning and I told my mom, and I said, I can't deal with this anymore. It's stressing me out. I just wanted to stop. Like I just wanted to know something, like why is this happening to me? And because, I mean, really, it was a huge part of my life, and it still is.
Yes.
Yes. So, so anyways, I told my mom, and my mom called my aunt. Excuse me. And
of course.
My aunt took me to her friend's, who was a psychic. And we talked about it, and she said, well, maybe you should just tell him to stop scaring you. Just, be frank with him. Just tell him to stop scaring you because you can't handle it anymore. And I said, okay. So that's what I did. I went home, and I can't remember if it was that night or the night after. I think it was the night after. I had seen him, and right when he came in the door, I just kind of beckoned him towards me, and he got really close to my face. And I asked him, please stop scaring me. And the dream ended right then and there. Like it just, just stopped. And then about a week later, I had another dream, and it was completely different. So this time, instead of walking up on the porch, he sat behind this great big oak tree. It had a huge trunk on it. And he was crouched down behind it and kind of peeking his head around the side at me. And he would just watch me from there. So throughout the rest of my life, from the time I was 19 until now, that's the reoccurring dream.
That's so funny, but respectful. He respected your wishes.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he listened to me. Like, and I asked myself too, I was like, why? Why would he listen to me?
Well, I mean, highly intelligent. Maybe he was just trying to get your attention to the point where you would maybe communicate.
Right. That's what I was thinking too, because recently I quit having the dreams. The last dream I had was in Oregon, but I can't remember. I think it was when I was actually still living down in the southern part of Oregon. But since I moved up here I'm in the Central Cascades now, so I'm in the foothills of the Cascades.
Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous, gorgeous. That's one of the reasons why we moved to this location, because we were so close to the forest. And as soon as I got here, it was like I had a calling. Like, here it is. It's like, it's just everything that you could ever imagine. And here it is. And come have it.
Yeah.
Like, this is your playground, play in it,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe that's where they were trying to draw you the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's really.
Absolutely, 100%.
Mhm.
Because when I started, I learned the trail system, and I had Bigfoot stickers on my car and stuff, and I would go to like the grocery store, and I would come out of the grocery store. It was so funny. And somebody would be standing next to my car waiting for me to come out of the grocery store so they could tell me their Bigfoot story.
Ah, I love it.
Yes, right? And I was just like, "Oh, that is so awesome." So I would write down the location, you know, and
Yeah.
what happened and how many people were involved, just everything, the time of year, the date, what the weather was like, you know. And I
Yeah.
started documenting all these reports from these local people. And the local people, they were like firefighters and woodland firefighters and loggers, because this is a logging town, you know. So just like credible people, you
Mm.
know,
Mhm.
hunters who just go out to hunt, you
Mhm.
know, that are having these things, not people who are actually going out looking for Bigfoot. These are people who are doing everyday things,
Mhm.
having these experiences.
Do you think that's why they get more experiences is because A, they're not paying attention, B, being telepathic individuals, these beings are going to know that I'm safe. They're not specifically here to harm me.
Maybe.
Right place, right time.
Yeah. It's really interesting because um, I would say 90% of the reports that I would get from the hunters were very aggressive. But
Mm.
the woodland firefighters, not aggressive, right?
Funny
So
that. Funny.
I started making
Yeah.
connections,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
the patterns and stuff. The loggers, it was funny because a lot of the loggers will tell you that when they go out, they have to yell at each other while they're, out in the forest. So they're yelling to communicate to each other. And while they're having this conversation, they start getting whoops, from Sasquatches, obviously,
Mhm. Yeah.
So the encounters are all, I think, appropriate. you know?
I think so. I think so.
Right.
It's like Wayne says, guns versus no guns.
Yeah. 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 And it's kind of like, um, that's their home. That's their refrigerator. You're kind of like taking their food,
That's true
right?
too. Yeah, that's true as well.
If they're, like stalking a herd of elk or something,
Yeah.
they're going to get mad if somebody starts, you know, picking
Well,
off their elk.
especially if they're territorial, you
Yeah.
know, because wildlife knows, just like people should know. I think people, they don't pay attention, but wildlife knows. You got territories get marked for a reason. So
Yep.
when you're coming in within that territory,
Yeah.
it's a sign of hostility. Usually, there's no respecting the boundaries.
Totally. Yeah.
You know,
So
so.
I started, so I'm doing all of this, and I'm trying to really get involved, and I'm like, okay, it has a purpose. I have a purpose. And I start going out into the wilderness, and I'm following up all these reports, and I'm looking for, everything, for signs, for structures, and um, footprints, and this and that and the other thing. And then I had an experience where I had seen one, but the person I was with didn't. So I was like,
Yeah.
am I manifesting this? Is it, what's going on? Like, you know,
Mm,
right?
yeah. Sounds a little bit dimensional, maybe. Sounds a little bit like cloaking.
Yes, yeah. But that was my first sighting, so I didn't know.
Yes.
I had no idea. I was just like, okay, right now I'll just put it in the back burner, and let it simmer and continue doing what I'm doing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a reason for this. I wanted to bring you back to this point.
You take your time. It's your show. I'm just tagging along.
So my second sighting was the one where I was like, okay, yep, this makes sense. I had a sighting. We were coming down the mountain, and it was me and two other women. And we were just, we're talking it up, and we're just laughing and giggling and having a good time driving in my car. And I come down and I see one. And when it appears, it just it's about 10 feet off the trail to the left-hand side and almost right in front of me. And when he appears, he kind of appeared from the ground up, like, I guess, kind of like a hologram or something. And then all of a sudden it was just like full, and he was there, and he had his arm leaning up against a tree, and I could see his hair and his fingers and everything. It was just like I could just reach out and touch him, like he was real. It was there. And then the minute I said, can you guys see this? Bam, he just disappears. And when he disappears, he goes down into like this ball, this orb. It's like a blue orb, right? And then the orb kind of explodes and disappears. And when it does that, it was like somebody threw a fistful of glitter in the air. And it was like magic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this fistful of glitter goes through the air, and all of a sudden it's gone. Just within less than 10 seconds, it was just like, boof, it was there, boom, 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 it's gone.
So you were able to witness all of that?
Yes.
Wow.
But the girls I was with, they didn't.
Wow. That's so crazy.
I know, right? And I was so angry because I wanted somebody else to see this too, to kind of verify it, validify it for me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not losing my mind. I'm not going crazy.
Yes.
So I went home, and I dropped the girls off, and on my way to my house, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, what is going on? What is this? What's the purpose? Blah, blah, blah. And I said out loud, I said, who are you? And then I hear back, I'm the one from your dream. I know. And I said, yes, you are.
Wow. But there's a little bit of validation.
Yep, exactly. So ever since then, so that was like it. That was like, okay, this means something. This is something that, it's just, I knew it was going to be really special to me,
yes.
And yeah, so that's part of the reason. That's why I would say that's the whole reason why I wrote the book, because I wanted to connect with other people who have had these dreams and started having them when they were kids. Like, how many people has this happened to,
It might not even think twice about it. I mean, to get the whole details. Wayne said he's actually heard this account before, a Sasquatch disappearing into a blue ball of light. And also, like, did you hear any sounds when all this was happening, when he kind of went into this light and the glitter?
No sounds, none.
Wow.
It's just us, because we're talking in the car, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm driving the car. I stopped the car. I remember I started like hyperventilating.
Yes.
And the one of the ladies sitting next to me, she's like, are you okay?
Wow.
Said, oh my God. I like, you really didn't see that? She's like, no.
See, the reason I mention it is because I believe everything sort of connects, when you get into the field of the paranormal or ufology, cryptozoology. I believe everything comes together. Now, in the paranormal field, when you see that, if you see like the ball of light, or if there's activity, you'll sometimes hear like a crackling sound. And if it's dark, especially, or if you're in a room that's not like brightly lit, you'll see what looks like I always call it a little light show with like almost like sparkles, like fireworks, lights,
Yeah.
while the sound is happening. So it's
Oh.
just that's why I asked, yeah, if there was any
Oh.
sound with that.
Yeah, no, it's so funny
Crazy.
because I used to do a lot of paranormal investigations, and
Mm.
I had never experienced anything like that before ever. I had never seen anything like that. The
Yeah.
sparkles, I thought that was just me making it pretty, you
No.
know? I was like,
No,
"Ooh,
no.
sparkles," you know?
No, I love though that you're saying it because it just adds a bit of, again, validity to the fact
Mhm.
that there's this full circle connection of
Yeah.
how things somehow connect, like the ethereal world.
Absolutely. It's so funny because now that we're investigating like on a regular basis, we see orbs up there all the
Mm,
time. And most of the time when we see the orb activity, we actually have Bigfoot activity too, coinciding with it.
mhm.
So there's I don't know what it is, but there's some kind of connection between the two, for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Like when you're investigating, what kind of personal experiences have you had?
Oh my gosh. Well, um, I guess the first real, um, like what made me feel like, I don't know, it's like seeing a unicorn in the woods. We it
That's
was
a good way to put it.
I don't know. Okay, here we go. So, we had a meeting. I had these town hall meetings, right, in town for all the locals so they could interact with us and bring their stories. And usually after those meetings, me and my research partner, Eric, will go up to the woods and camp. So that night he brought his fiance. It was just the three of us, and it was really quiet. So we were like, me. I was like, I'm only 45 minutes away from my bed. I just
Mhm.
want to go home and sleep in my bed tonight. So I told Eric, and he's like, oh, all right. Yeah. I said, it's quiet. I'm not feeling anything up here at all. And
Yeah.
so he's like, okay. I said, I'll be back at 6 o'clock in the morning, like right on the dot. And so I left, and it takes me, like I said, it takes me about 45 minutes to get home. So I get down to the main road, and I'm about 30 minutes into my trip, maybe 20 minutes into my trip. And I come around this curve in the road, and right in front of me, there's two sets of what look like bicycle reflectors, right? They're red, and there's a set on this side, on the passenger side of the car, behind a tree, kind of, and then there's another set that's really close to the side of the road on the driver's side. So they're on opposite sides of the road from each other. And I saw him, and right away I knew. I said, this isn't normal, because I've driven this road like 1,000 times, I would know. And so I stopped my car, and I said, okay, I'm just going to kind of creep up on it and study it and look at it, because this is what I'm here for, right? This is what I'm doing. So I'm getting closer and closer, and I realize these bicycle reflectors, they're glowing red, right? They're glowing.
That
And,
doesn't sound very comforting, Michelle.
it's so funny because the whole time, I was never afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of like I was in the moment. I
Mhm.
also didn't even think about getting my phone and taking a picture. Like
Yeah.
I was so in the moment.
It probably would have disappeared if you tried.
Oh, probably. Um, so they're these huge glowing red egg shapes. So they weren't perfect. At first I thought they were perfectly round, but they were egg shaped. And they were so big that if you were to compare them to my head, the eyes would have been on the side of my head, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So I start getting closer and closer, and all these weird things are going through my head. Like, has he got steampunk goggles on, or, you know,
Yeah.
like some kind of weird, morphed owl or something.
It could happen.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I thought so, because the one on the right that was behind the tree, it was about 6 feet up the side of the tree. It was looking at me from around the side of the tree, and it was making really gentle movements. Like, it would look at me, it would look across the road, and then it would look behind it.
Mm.
And it kept doing that. It's looking all over the place, but it was real smooth, gentle movements.
Mm.
And I was like, what? And I thought right away, she must have something behind her, because she kept looking behind her, right?
Mm.
So I look over at the one on the left, and during this whole time, I'm just kind of very gradually creeping closer. I'm 50 feet away from him, and I'm just closing the gap, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I look over at the one on the left, and he's looking at her, and then he'd look at me, look at my car, and it's almost like if I could see his head, which I couldn't. All I could see was his eyes, but if I could see his head, I could imagine his chin being right on the side of the road, you know?
Wow.
So, yeah, and I thought
Wow.
that was really weird at first.
Yes.
But finally, he looked at me and he locked eyes with me. And once he locked eyes with me, he kept them on me the whole time that I drove by. He did not once look away from my eyes. I would look away and I'd look back, and he'd still be looking right at my eyes. And I was just like, whoa. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to continue to leave very slowly, so you guys can finish doing whatever you were doing,
Mm. Yeah.
which is obviously crossing the road,
Yeah.
right? One
Yeah.
is going across the road again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I drive past them, and previously I'd turned off my headlights and kept my fog lights on, because I didn't want to, whatever it was, I didn't want to blind them.
Mm-hmm. Smart
So
thinking.
yeah, it was like instinct, I just kind of boop, turned them off. And as I passed in between them, and I look over at the one on the left, and I see his back is huge. He's crouched over, and the hair on his back is kind of translucent, and it kind of rippled, and it glowed, and it sparkled all at the same time.
Wow.
It was
That's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, it really, that was the first thing I thought. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
What? And
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. Like I said, it's like seeing a unicorn, you're like, oh my
And
God.
you wouldn't expect something to be, because from when you could probably confirm or not confirm, but they're pretty smelly, and you would not expect something very smelly to look that beautiful.
No, not at all. I know. I'm thinking, I'm thinking dreadlocks, and like weird stuff sticking out of his hair,
Yeah, right. Twigs.
twigs and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Rolling around in the dirt. It's like,
Right.
wow.
It blew me
Amazing.
out of the water. It blew
Yeah.
me out. I was just like, oh my God, that is absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm. Yes.
Um, and so as I drive between them, I'm watching this happen, and I drive between them real slow, and I get probably about 20 or 30 feet past them,
Mm.
and I look up into my rearview mirror. I can't see a thing. There's nothing. If they're gone. I don't know if they're gone or if they dimmed, or what, but
Yeah.
they're just not there anymore. So when I felt like it was safe enough to where I wouldn't startle them if I took off, I took off. I bolted home.
Yes. Yes. So, oh my goodness. So,
Right.
do you ever pick up any like telepathic thoughts from them when you're out there?
I do. It's weird though. I had to call Robin Haynes
Yeah.
because I felt like I was communicating with them,
Mhm.
but it was staticky. It
Mm.
wasn't coming through
Mm.
how, like, normally if I would, if I'm
It's like a
doing,
radio, right? You have to
yeah,
just tune it. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
When I'm sleeping and I'm talking to people, it's clear as day.
Yeah.
Not this though. It's choppy.
Mhm.
But I get feelings. So I get like this knowing, like, don't go down there, or come up here, because this is where you want to go. I get that all the time out there from them. Um,
Mhm.
Last
Yeah.
Christmas, right before I left, I left in November. I went down to New Orleans, by the way. I was there for a month. And
Beautiful.
yeah. Oh, I got to show you no, I'll show you later. So anyways, I had left a bunch of gifts up there and I had told them when I left, I said, I'm going to be gone for the whole winter. I love you guys. Take care. I'll be back. Don't forget about me,
I'll bring you gifts.
Yes, exactly. Here's some pumpkins and some organic apples, and I left a bunch of stuff. I left some the cat balls that blink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
They use them in ghost hunting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I left them a bunch of those and like just, weird, just cute little toys. Oh, crayons, right? And some paper to color on.
Wow.
So, yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And then I
Tell
drew.
your mom.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, because I drew a picture of me and a Sasquatch, and then I put it in a big Ziploc bag, and I left that there too,
Oh,
so they would know it was me.
yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. That's so beautiful.
Thanks. So I left it all there, and then I said goodbye. And the next day, me and one of my girlfriends, we were going to go up to another site that we had been researching, just to check around. And as we're driving up there, I got the calling. I said, you got to come back up here. Or I didn't say, it said, you got to come back up here. Not auditory, though. It was like, just like that
You
knowing.
know, because
Yeah,
you have a connection established.
yeah,
Even if
exactly.
it is fuzzy, you know.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, yeah, I think we need to go back up there. And she's like, oh, really? Because it's a long drive.
Yeah.
So we went up there, and the minute I got up there, instantly I got out of the car. She would not get out of the car. She was like, I'm good. I think she might have gotten out for a second, but she was like, nope. I got out of the car and I just got like these goosebumps and everything. And I started hearing things moving around, and it sounded like people hiding in the woods, trying not to make a noise, but they would make a noise.
Oh.
But I didn't see anything, but I knew that they were there. So I kind of felt like they had called me back up because maybe they weren't there all together the day before.
Oh.
But when I said I was leaving, they called me back up so they could kind of all be there, in a
Oh.
spiritual way or something to say goodbye.
Well, if you
But
left gifts, maybe they just wanted to thank you too,
maybe that too. Yeah.
you know, or maybe they just didn't like your friend.
Yeah, right. Maybe.
We're
Who
just
knows?
gonna stay over here. No,
Yeah.
but I think if they sense that somebody is uncomfortable,
Uh-huh.
like, they sound like they're a very respectful group.
Yeah, definitely. I do have a friend who is, she has telepathy. And she said that that's one of the things that she's noticed about them. It's funny that you would say that because she noticed right away that they were very respectful. They're very blunt, but they are, yeah, they're like good people, you
Mhm.
know?
Uh,
So,
and I like that, people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Forest people.
Forest people. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You
Yeah.
know? Wow. So you take off for like a month.
No, 3 months.
3 months. Oh my God. They must have just been so lost without you.
We get a lot of snow up there.
Yes. I grew up in northern Canada, so I get the snow part. So,
Mhm.
um, but so you were gone for quite a while. Did that, did they welcome you back, or was it like starting over again? Like, you know?
No, they welcomed me back. Like,
Right.
as soon as I got back, I swear, when I had to drive in, because I went down to New Orleans and I was there for a month, and then I went over to Tennessee, and then I was up in Michigan, and then I came back to Oregon from Michigan.
Yeah.
And when I came back to Sweet Home, I had to actually drive through part of the area that I research in.
Mhm.
And the minute I hit that tree line, it was like instantly, I just felt like I was happy and they were happy to have me back. Instant. It was instant, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I love that because it shows a really for anybody who doesn't think that these are very highly evolved sentient beings. I mean, if they were not, you would be just like coming in. Like I believe all animals are. I believe trees are. I'm funny like that,
Yeah.
with nature and such. But also being, having mediumship abilities, you pick up on all of that. You pick up, or you see energy. You don't just see physical. You see beyond all of that. And you know, for anybody who thinks that this doesn't exist, they're dead wrong. And everything you're saying right now, it just shows that they're very much aware. Otherwise, you're just this person that randomly shows up with gifts.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they wouldn't be excited to see you just on that level, but
I know.
food and gifts, you know.
That would be weird.
Yeah. So they welcome you back. Did they give you little gifts, or they just sort of rally around you? What was it like?
Yeah, so it was weird. Um, I went up there, and I can't remember. I went up there a couple times right away. And one of the times that I went up, I took my friend Carlos with me. And so we go up to the spot. I clean it up. I get all my trash and everything. So it looks like nobody's even been there.
Mm.
But there was a lot of things missing. Like the pumpkins were there, but the apples, they were all gone.
The note to self: don't bother with the pumpkins.
Yeah, they were like, what is this? We've never seen a pumpkin. You don't see a pumpkin in the wild,
True.
right?
It's true.
That's the first thing I thought is they don't see them in the wild. So they probably
Exactly.
didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so anyways, but the apples were gone. And then the basket that had all the little like balls and gifts and stuff was completely empty, except they had left me one owl. And it was like a Christmas tree ornament, but it was made out of like Sherpa or something. It's really soft.
yeah.
But it's funny because I collect owls. So,
Oh.
right? And so they're like,
Brilliant.
this is yours. You keep the owl. So,
Wow. Wow, that's brilliant.
yes, right. But it was interesting because the crayon box was there, but they had taken the crayons out, and what it looked like to us was that they would bite them and chew them up and spit them out because there was these little spots of crayon everywhere,
Uh-oh.
you know?
Wow. So not a hit the way you'd hoped.
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
then, but all those cat balls and everything were missing, right? And so Carlos he's like, I'm going to go up this trail. Do you want to go? And I said, nope, I'm good. For some reason, I felt like that was Carlo. Maybe I was just tired or lazy or whatever. No, I'm good. I'm going to stay here. So he goes about maybe a tenth of a mile up the trail or something. And he comes back and he said, look what I found. It was one of those cat balls, the ones that light up.
Yeah.
He had found it all the way up that trail.
Wow.
Crazy. I know.
Oh my God. I love that.
But I thought it was interesting that the picture that I had drawn, that was gone. And
Hmm.
it was just gone. And
I
this
no,
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
This is a spot that people just don't go to. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's off the beaten path.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, I bet you if you sat down in that spot sometime,
Mhm.
even with like one of the bigger sketchbooks or sketch pad, that's like a thin one, and just started coloring, I tend to wonder if you left the pad there with a couple of crayons afterwards, if they would come back and just from observing you. Because you could be telepathic as well. Just, this is what you really do with it,
Yeah.
just
You
kind
know,
of sniff it. And it's like, no, no
right.
eating. It's just,
Don't
you
eat
know,
it. Yeah.
I don't know. Huh?
No,
Right here.
that's a great idea because I've been trying to figure out. I've left markers and paper out there before, but
Mhm.
I've never thought about like actually,
Showing them.
doing that. Yeah, showing them how to use it. So I'll
Yes.
do that, Michelle, the next time I go out there.
Yeah, it might be interesting because they do understand telepathy. You
Yeah.
could,
Hmm.
communicate with them. They can pick up your thoughts if you just say, "Okay, you don't want to eat it." No, just say,
Oh,
"But here," and just draw on it. I have no doubt they're very intelligent. I have
abs-
no doubt that they would pick it up, and you might come back to see something pretty amazing.
absolutely. I believe I'm excited now. I want to do that, right? Oh, we have a camping trip coming up on the 28th. So,
You need to leave a picture of yourself.
huh?
Leave a picture of yourself there.
Oh, like one that I've drawn
No, one of
or
you.
like an actual picture?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Because they recognize you
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
show it to the little ones. It's
Mhm.
just like,
Yes.
trust. It's
Right.
just little things because they're obviously very visual,
Yes. Yep, totally.
you
I
know?
always one of the things I always do is I wear dresses a lot because I just hate pants.
Yeah.
And it's like a sensory issue or something, So I wear when I'm out researching, I wear dresses and flip-flops because that's just what I do. But
Yeah.
I always make sure to wear a blue dress because I've heard, right?
Yes.
Blue, they love blue. I give them
Mhm.
blue marbles, blue
Mhm.
rocks,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. But they also know that when they see
Mhm.
somebody in that attire, if you're wearing the same one especially, they start to associate. It's funny because Wayne's sister does that with crows, but she'll always wear a red shirt, and the crows know that it's time to be fed. They come in
Oh,
at that time. When she comes out in a different color, attire, they
yeah,
know it's not feeding time.
right.
So
Yeah.
it's just like little color
Yeah.
triggers. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, when they see that blue dress, they know it's me coming, and I always
Yes.
play the same music too, like, I blast it in my car when I'm coming up that road,
Yeah.
so they know
Yeah.
it's me. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
So, I mean, how close have you actually ever gotten to one? Have they come pretty close to you to be
I think so.
you hear the grunting
Aside
in the woods and the brush or
Yes, yeah, aside
oh,
from the ones that were, like, literally 10 feet away from me. Um,
yeah.
we had right before I no, I guess it was in late summer last year. And it was me and Eric, and then we have this new guy in the research group, Tim. And we were we had driven down the road. We were shining our flashlights up on this ridge where we see a lot of orbs and stuff.
Mhm.
And eye shine. So we're seeing something here and there, orbs, and we're seeing little flickers and a little bit of eye shine. And then um, I look away and I remember Eric goes, Michelle, look. And I looked back, I looked up and I saw something, but I don't know what it was, but it was something and it was moving, right?
Yeah.
So, And I said, what was that? And Eric goes, it was a Sasquatch. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, that was the first one Eric ever saw. That was his first sighting. So I was really excited for him, you know?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That was a huge deal. And I said, are you sure? What did it look like? And he just went through, he said it was, he saw the eye shine or something. It didn't realize it had been crouching. And but he saw it stand up straight and look at us, and it turned around and just gradually just walked away. So I was like,
I like that it's gradual, because it shows you that there's no concern with you
yeah,
guys being there, that they're very comfortable.
yeah, that well, I mean, they seem to be super comfortable with me and Eric too. They're
Mhm,
really comfortable with Eric.
mhm,
With Eric, me and Eric together get the most interactions from them.
mhm.
So our energy, and Eric and mine's energy is very similar too. So yeah, he starts talking to Tim, and I'm not paying attention to them. I'm like, whatever, I'm paying attention to something else. And
Yes.
the next thing I know, they start walking down the road and they're pretty far away from me. I said, wait, where are you guys going? And they're like, oh, we're just going to go down around the curve and see if there's a path that goes up the back of the ridge. And I was like, okay, but it's like late at night and it's so
Yeah,
dark that you can't even see your hand in front of your face, you
right.
know?
I
And my
know.
flashlight is dead. So I'm like, don't leave me out here by myself.
Yes. Oh
It's
my
dark.
gosh.
I'm scared, you know?
Yeah. I think they would protect you, because I mean, you
Well,
don't know what's out in those woods, you
I
know?
don't think that they would hurt me, but it's still being in the dark is kinda it's
Yeah, but
yeah.
I feel that they would protect you. I do. Because it's almost like they've sort of embraced you, you know, brought you in. If you've been having these dreams your entire life, and
Mhm.
then you make contact and like, I'm the one in your dream, then you know that there's this kinship. I truly think you were just traveling there. I believe it's so
Yeah.
much more than a dream. You know, I do believe we leave our bodies and we just travel. And I know so many people who have had interactions with them in this manner. One
Mhm.
specifically, I'll tell you about it later on. This elderly friend of mine been doing it his whole life, you know, and he's 70 now. So,
Wow.
and there's a constant, like, he's got this telepathic thing that goes on with him all the time, you know?
Wow.
I
Yeah.
remember saying, "Oh god," you know, like, you know, because you could tap in and see them, things like that, you know, remotely and such, and he always said, he goes, "Well, you should have permission to do that, and if they give it to you as a collective, they will do it with you." I'm kinda, "Okay." 6 weeks later, he goes, "Okay, it's been agreed upon." I'm like, not that I see them, because I'm not in the area of one. He goes,
Right.
"No, but even remotely, you know, like, if you tap in, they'll know, and they won't scatter, they'll be okay, and if you're ever someplace in person," I'm thinking, so, in my mind, I'm just kind of like, because this guy's been, like, anybody who's met him says, like, he's not from around here. I'm
Yeah.
kinda like, "That's just like a movie saying, or is that for real?" It's just like, you're like, "No, for real," like, his whole life, and he's this elderly man now, and
Wow.
he's been around them normally, and he and is this like some hive mind or something? Like some Sasquatch collective? Like,
Yes. Yes. Right?
yeah,
That's what I think. I think there's, like, something that we all have in common, the people who they interact with the most, like,
mm,
kinda like, and I hate to say it that we're chosen because that sounds kinda weird,
yeah,
but
yeah,
in a way
it's
it
true
is. It's
though.
like there's something that we have that we're using that other people don't use,
Mhm,
you know? Um,
mhm. I do believe they choose you. I think that's why some people have more experiences than others,
yeah.
unharmed especially.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
really.
with Sasquatch, but beings like Dogman. If they haven't been interfered with,
Mhm.
you know, by the
Right.
powers that be, if they haven't been interfered with, you know, there have been amazing tales, even Dogman just kind of sitting back and observing and not harming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like,
I
like,
believe it.
like with ghosts too. I mean, some people, they can't see them, but you can, or, what?
And I think any ethereal being, if you're you don't have to be a medium to see if they choose to let you see them, but I do believe if you have that ability on whatever level,
Mm-hmm.
if you can tap into that ethereal realm and they're coming through, if you're meant to see them, you will,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So same
Yeah.
idea. I mean, I've seen cryptid stuff.
Mhm.
I'm an experiencer, ET experiencer. Ghosts have been like no brainer stuff. I've been seeing those since I was like probably a baby. Like the
Right.
stories that I've gotten from my family. So I do believe that you just see them, and as children, because you say you got your mediumship, at a certain age, but
Mm-hmm.
as children, and you might even notice with your daughter, they do see everything because
Oh, yeah.
they haven't been brought down by life. And when I say that is,
Yeah.
a job,
Yeah.
stress, you know, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. They're still very pure of mind and pure of heart. So those abilities just we don't, the creator doesn't send us here naked with respects to not being able to be tuned in to our
Right.
environment or our planet and certain people. So you may have had
Mm-hmm.
you may have been seeing them, like when you say at 5, might even have been even pre-life here.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I believe that we choose the life before we're
Yeah.
even born. So
Yeah.
whatever has followed me into this life, including
Yes.
them, has been
Yes.
with me all along. I believe that. I really do.
I think so too, because it's very natural with you, which
Yeah.
is really wonderful. So you've gone on this whole other journey.
Yeah. You know what? I wanted to finish that
Oh,
story
please do.
about the
Yes.
ridge because this is a
Yeah.
really important part.
Absolutely. Go. Just stop me next time.
It's okay. No, it's okay. So I remembered. So they took off walking, and I told them not to, but they were just like, haha, whatever. So they go down, they go around that curve, and the minute that their flashlights go around that curve and disappear, I hear behind me, doom, 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 like 4 big heavy footsteps. And I lost my breath. I said, Eric, it's behind me. And I jumped in my car and I shut the door and my windows are down and I panicked and I didn't know how to roll my windows up because it's like electronic. I'm like, oh my God. But because it was so dark, it startled me. And because later I thought about it and I thought, they're not going to hurt me.
Mm-mm.
Right.
No, no. I mean, telepathically, you probably could have said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, slow down," or
Yeah.
you could have said, "Is that you?"
I know, right? I could have actually interacted with them, and I always tell myself that all the time. Now I'm like,
But it's fight or
"Why
flight,
didn't
right?
you do this?"
Yeah,
But
it's fight or flight. When you're
fight
feeling
or
the
flight's
ground
exactly
shake
it.
underneath this,
Yep,
your feet.
yep, exactly. Fight or flight. I jumped
Yeah.
in my car. So they came back, and we looked, and we couldn't see anything, obviously. The flashlights, it's dark, whatever. But Tim went up on the hill, on that side of the road, and he could hear something down there on the shore of the reservoir. He
Mm.
could hear it moving around. So we were like, okay, let's just, finish up here tonight. And then a couple of days later, I took another research partner of mine out there, and
Mm.
he was able to get down that ledge. And he found footprints, big footprints, and there
Yeah.
was a rock, and it was like a slate, and it was about 3 feet high. And on the top, it had moss all over it. And on the top of that rock was a perfect impression of a butt, a huge butt. Like something
Wow.
had been sitting there.
Mhm.
And so if you'd sit on that and you'd look, if you were big and tall, you would probably be eye level with the road and you would be able to see exactly where my car was parked.
Oh boy.
So we had one on the ridge and we had one behind us. And the minute that he distracted those guys and the guys took off, the one behind us came up and was going to approach me. But nah, I didn't let him. I screamed.
So did you make nice after that? Like, did you go back and say, okay,
Yeah.
I was just startled.
Yeah, I tell him that all the time. I'm so sorry. I'm just really jumpy, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think they know that. That's, you
I'm
know,
pretty sure they figured it out by now. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're pretty gentle with me for the most part. Maybe they thought that was funny or something, you know.
Well, they could be having some fun with you as well.
Yeah, we thought that too. We thought, well, maybe they were juveniles, you know. They're just having fun.
That could be. That could be. Either way, I don't think you have anything to worry about that, when you're there. I mean, I don't really get the whole, the boundary thing with them. Essentially, like if you have one clan in there, let's say one group, are they going to, can another one come in and sort of infiltrate without them knowing about it? Or, is it specifically one group?
Yeah, I think the area that we're currently researching, I've tracked them and I think I've figured out that in particular in that area is a family of 4 definitely and possibly more.
Wow.
But also there's an area across the creek where there is a separate family. So that's as far as I've gotten so far. I know that there's definitely 4 over here, and there's definitely a separate family across the creek. Yeah, but I don't know how their territories go.
Yeah, well, might not hurt to know.
I know, right? I do know, though, Michelle, like when we go up there to camp, we don't camp in what I call the habitat. We stay on the outskirts. There's one camp spot. Actually, it's really close to where I had that second sighting, where he showed up.
Yes.
So that's where we stay. We always camp at the same spot.
Yeah, so they know exactly where to find you.
Yeah,
definitely. Have you ever had interaction while you're trying to sleep? Or are they respectful and they just leave you alone?
Yeah, no, it's funny because I believe that they are pretty respectful and they leave us alone because we've never had one come into camp at night.
That's good.
I had a incident when I had taken somebody up there who isn't part of our research group, and he'd never been up there before. And I thought I knew him pretty well personally to, I could take him up. But I don't think that they appreciated it because that night we can hear something on the hill right in front of us, right in front of our camp spot. And it was pacing and it was grunting, and we got it all on audio. So, and we listened to it for probably about an hour, maybe less. And finally we were so scared. We were just like, let's go to bed. And I slept in my car with the doors locked. Excuse me.
Stay in the tent, buddy. You'll be fine.
Right? He had a tent on top of his truck. He stayed up. Yeah.
So I don't know if that would have helped him much, but
I know. But
wow.
He never came into camp that night. And the next morning when I got out of my car, I opened up the hatch and then I shut it and I cleared my throat, and you can hear him grunt one last time. He goes, ugh, and that was it. We never heard from him again.
Crazy. So he was out there all night.
And so instantly I thought, well, he's mad at me or he don't like this other guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or both.
I don't know. Yeah.
But it's an energy thing. It's like Ron Moorhead says all the time. The whole quantum energy thing, the vibration, the aura. Maybe there's something about Buddy that you just didn't like.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a couple of things. I mean, he had a firearm, so
Oh, right there, right
automatic
there. Yeah.
automatically that, no, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. He's got a good
Yeah.
heart, but
Bigfoot doesn't know that.
yeah,
Sasquatch is
exactly.
like, no. Like,
Exactly. Right.
it depends on, I think, what kind of experiences they've had, with people who've come in with weapons.
Oh, and I know hunters go back there all the time because they're hunting
Yeah.
bear, elk, and cougars,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
See? So this is what they see is
Mhm.
people who come in with no respect for the habitat or the wildlife or I mean, if
Yeah.
I was Sasquatch, that's how I would look at it.
Yeah.
Like you're in our territory,
Mhm. Yeah.
and you're taking life.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's there with a firearm, even though it's there, like Ron says the same thing, goes, I go into the firearm, it's mostly like for cougars and things like that. It's
Yeah.
not, it's just to defend yourself,
Yeah.
not against Bigfoot when I'm there, but I do have,
Right.
a firearm with me. And so, but I think it's an energy thing, whatever they pick up on.
Yeah, totally, totally. I know it was really intimidating. That's the only time I've ever been terrified. Like
Wow.
I was
Yeah, he gave
terrified.
you that protest too, didn't he? Oh, like,
Yeah. Yeah. He'd let me know, man.
yeah. No uncertain terms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I'm assuming that was the last time you brought somebody up. Did you tell people you're better to not carry?
It's interesting because we do carry, but we keep it in a backpack in our car.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we don't present it the way
Not
that
on your
he,
person, essentially.
yeah, he had it on his
Yeah.
person. So,
Yeah.
um, and yes, that's the last person stranger that I took up there.
Yeah.
Everybody who goes up there with us now they're actually members of my research team.
Right.
And there's a purpose. And I always like if I introduce somebody new to the team,
Mhm.
I introduce them to them as well. So I'm like, hey, I got this new person, good guy,
Mhm.
solid. Just, is it all right if I bring him up? And I'm sure if it wasn't okay, they would let me know. You know.
That guy would anyway.
Yeah, right. I know.
I don't doubt that at all.
I think that was my Sasquatch daddy. I call
Yeah.
him the the one from my dream. I call him Sasquatch daddy because I didn't know his name. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So he's chastising you,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I know it's a crazy question because you pretty much have been giving us hints of it throughout the entire conversation, but this became a really, I guess, a journey, a spiritual journey of evolution, awakening, awareness for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
totally. It's I think it helped me a lot through healing because I didn't have the best childhood as, a lot of kids don't,
Yeah.
especially in Generation Xers,
Mhm.
And there was really some stuff that I had to work through when I got older.
Mhm.
And when I realized that they were there and why they were there in my dreams
Mhm.
was really the beginning of the real healing, because I
Mm.
realized that they were there because I needed them. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
feel like
I
I'm gonna
do.
cry.
No, I know, I do. You go ahead. I'll send you
But
a virtual hug. You're all right.
I really did. I needed them, and I realized that all those times when they were coming every night were
Mhm.
times when I was going through some really, really hard stuff,
Mhm.
you
And they
know?
were there to support you and to let you know
Yep.
you weren't alone.
And I always felt so alone. I always felt like nobody was there. But
Mhm.
just now knowing that they were,
Mhm.
it helped me heal that little girl, you
Yeah.
know?
Yes. Have you ever brought your daughter up there to meet them?
All the time.
Yeah? And what does she think of them?
She loves it. I mean, she believes in them.
Yeah.
She's never had any experiences with them,
Mhm.
But I think that not only does she just love being outside, she's a nature girl.
Yeah.
She loves seeing mom happy, you
Yeah.
know? And when we're up there in the woods together,
Mhm.
it's also a bonding experience for her and I, and
Mm.
you can't take that away from us. It's
Ha
amazing.
has she had her own experiences
Nope.
with them? No?
Not
Oh,
yet.
no. But you know what you've done though is you paved the way
Yep.
so they're familiar with her,
Yes.
right? And then
Absolutely.
if she so chooses, she's growing up, most people have puppies.
Yeah. She has Sasquatch.
That's what I mean. So, and I don't mean to say they're big puppies, but I'm saying like,
No.
you know how you try to teach your children to be kind to the pets. That's how you get them to
Yes.
respect, the
Yep.
little fur people, little fur folk.
Yep.
So essentially, yeah, as Wayne says, is a big spiritual teddy bear.
Yep.
You're bringing them in, and I wonder if they're just being delicate with her because they sense maybe she's got a level of, I'm not sure about this.
It's funny because Pema is fearless.
Yes.
It's so weird because I'm the one who's so skittish and so on edge all the time.
Yeah.
But Pema is the opposite. So I
Yes.
would think that, I try to tell him, hey, if you want to say hi to her, go for it. Cause I think she'd probably just be like, cool.
Yeah. Even a juvenile, who might
Yes.
have a similar vibe.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that would be so amazing.
Yeah.
Really.
I think it'll happen. I think it'll
Yeah.
happen.
I think so
Maybe it
too.
could be this respect thing, because how do they
Yeah.
feel about introducing, let's
Yeah.
say, their children to
Yes.
to humans, not knowing 100%. Maybe it's a respect thing, knowing that she's yours, and
Yeah.
they're just hanging back a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's all very fascinating.
Well, I mean, technically, we're still getting to know each other on the
Yeah.
earthly level, you know what I mean? Because I've literally been in that area of the woods researching that particular clan for maybe 2 years at the
Wow.
most,
So you're
you
still
know?
in the building stages,
Yeah,
building your
definitely.
trust and your relationship and such.
Absolutely. I'm not rushing anything. I know this is gonna take time.
Mhm,
We're continuously learning
mhm.
things, so
From one another.
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So on this journey of yours, what have you been learning about yourself? Because you said this was very much a part of your development and such. How has
Yeah.
this been for you aside from the experience?
I've learned how gifted I am.
Damn, that's amazing.
I mean No,
I'm
like,
playing with you. No, it's just
I
it's
know, I know,
wonderful.
I know it.
I
No,
love it. I love it.
it's like I I can't believe, like, a lot of time I'm the type of person that's like, "Did that really just happen? That didn't happen."
Mhm.
"Nah, that didn't happen."
Yeah.
But it's helping me to accept that
Yeah.
these things that happen that are, not normal and be okay with it, you know?
Yeah.
And, like,
Yes.
and come out because I know for so long, the only people that ever knew about my dreams that I had
Mhm.
were my very, very, very close friends or some of my family members,
Wow.
And so for me to get all the way here, and now I wrote a book about it, and I'm talking
Mhm.
on podcasts, and, like, it feels so good to release that,
Mhm.
and to give
Mhm.
it to somebody else who needs it,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
healing for me and it's healing for other people too, I hope,
Mhm.
you know?
I think so, and it's a different side to Sasquatch.
Right.
You're showing a really, I hate to say human element because humans can really suck sometimes.
Yeah.
I think on a larger scale, they're just more evolved than us. So you've got this incredible forest family,
Yeah.
that you can lean on. Like, if they've been
Mhm.
reaching out through time and space just to reach you,
Yeah.
I think there's a very strong connection there,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Yeah, I feel like I can, if I feel down or if I'm like really upset or something, I'll go out into the forest,
Mhm,
because I know that it's comforting to me
mhm,
that they're there. Just knowing that they're there is comforting to me,
mhm.
and I think they know that.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure of that. I have
Yeah.
no doubt. Do they still reach out? They don't reach out through dreams anymore?
No,
No.
no. I'm like, I wish they would.
Yes, yes,
But they
yes.
don't. Yeah, it stopped, like, right around the time I was in Oregon,
Yeah,
and
because you had to come and seek them out now, just because
yeah,
you were
it
that
it's
close.
yeah, that's what it was, I'm sure of it. I think about it all the time, and I'm thinking, I'm not in the dream anymore, I'm living it real time now,
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
we don't need the dream anymore,
yes.
The dream
No,
is just in the past. This
it was
is
just a way of easing you in.
yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
50
yeah.
years of it.
Yeah, for years. She finally gets it.
Yeah, finally.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I know,
Um,
right?
so in this, you say something that is, really interesting when you make mention in the book, journey into the unknown where boundaries of reality blur
Mhm.
and the heart begins to remember,
Yeah,
right? The fine line between myth and reality, fear, faith, solitude, connection, transformation.
right.
But
Yeah,
those are pretty, like, that's really deep.
thanks. I felt like, um, how do I say? Well, just knowing that I had these, abilities and, like, mediumship and stuff like that, my one thing my aunt used to always tell me, "Don't tell anybody. Don't tell."
Family secret. Don't tell anybody your
Yeah.
secret. Like,
Well, and I think too, on top of
back
that,
then,
it
yeah,
was to protect me
yeah,
because she knows people can be cruel,
it's true.
you know?
I grew up,
So
I think it was the time, like the era. My parents are
yeah,
much the same. It's a family secret. We don't talk about it.
yep,
People will think we're strange. We
yeah.
are. We are strange. What are you on about?
I'll
But it's
tell you
just
what, my great aunt, like, this runs in my family, as a matter of fact. My great aunt, she taught me how to use dowsing rods to plant a garden. You know what I mean? Like, she's
yeah, I love it.
and my aunt, my mom's sister, she's a Reiki master. She's very intuitive. It's just,
Yes.
but we always just keep don't talk about it. So
Mhm,
that's what I never talked about it. You know,
mhm. Yeah.
it feels so good to talk about it.
Well, you wrote a book.
Yep, exactly.
It doesn't get more
I'm
talking than that.
You're not gonna stop me. This is it.
Yes, yeah, I'm on a
Just
roll
gonna keep
now.
going now, yep.
Wayne says, living through your personal trauma and healing yourself through these amazing encounters has allowed you to speak of them to others with such compassion that others need to hear it.
Oh, thank you.
I
Yeah, I hate that, like, the divide in the community. There's a pretty big divide in the community, and I think
Mm,
we need to remember, like, why we're here. We're here because of Sasquatch. It doesn't matter if they're flesh and blood or if
mm,
they're, woo, I guess is the
yeah,
word for it.
the
If
woo-woos, yeah, yeah,
whatever it is, it completes a part of every single researcher out there, no matter what it is. There's a reason why you are doing your research
mm,
and you're out there interacting with them
mm,
because it completes a part of you. Just these parts of us are different, you know?
mm, mhm. You know, you have to look into consciousness itself. a collective consciousness. Everybody just assumes that within that collective consciousness, it's just we little old humans.
Right.
It's really not. It is the life force of everything on this planet and beyond, everything dimensionally even, which is far beyond this specific planet. But there is this collective consciousness that all thoughts and emotion becomes a part of. People for the longest time never realized, well, some people, many of us did, that even trees and plants had consciousness, that trees had a whole communication system just from their roots, that you
Yeah.
can ground yourself by earthing to the ground or by hugging a tree, and a tree will willingly exchange that energy with you. Like
Yeah.
people have no idea of the intelligence that that surrounds us and that we are so out of tune even with our own planet.
Mhm.
And if we were in tune with our planet, which you can do, takes a little bit of work because there's too many external frequencies,
Mhm.
synthetic
Yeah.
frequencies that sort of jam up our antennas. So we close ourselves off. Do you agree? We were closed off to some of these other incredible beings like Sasquatch.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like it's also like laziness. That I mean, all you need is a little bit of determination
Mhm.
and motivation, you
Mhm.
know? Like
Yes,
people are so not motivated. So it's so much easier just to do nothing,
it
you know,
is.
right?
It is. But
But if
then
you want something, you have to work for it,
yes.
right?
And it's one of those things that you don't wanna put the effort into it, and you know what? Some people don't need to. You don't need to meditate. I mean, I
Yeah,
always recommend it. I think it just evolves you a little
yeah.
faster, but there you don't really need to. If you're tapped in, you're tapped in.
Right.
But then sometimes these are the people just like, "Oh, I wish I could do that." You can,
You can. Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you
You
can.
need to surround yourself around with people who are also in that mindset. That's one of the things I've noticed, since I joined the community, the types of people who I am meeting now and who are gathering around me,
Mhm,
um, are amazing.
mhm,
I don't recall a time in my life where I have ever met so many wonderful, gifted, loving people.
mhm.
It blows me away, you know?
People of like mind, though,
Yeah.
find a way to one another, right?
Yes.
Do you find?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Con considering how the industry is, and I find most industries are like that, but especially in what I call the fields of
Mhm.
the highly strange fields that they're just out the obscure, that are out there.
Right.
Um, Eventually, people of like mind find a way to one another.
Yeah. 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 I
They're
believe
meant to.
so. Definitely. I think I finally found that a home, you know? It
Yeah,
feels like family. These people that I'm meeting are, it's like we're kind of almost like twins, you know?
yeah,
We have the
yeah.
same feelings and the same thoughts and the same emotions, and we're just, it feels so good. It just
Mhm.
feels so good.
And again, I love that because it takes away from everything we were talking about before we went live, right?
Right.
The headbutting.
Yep, the headbutting. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
doesn't need to be.
No, no, not at all. Yeah, there doesn't have to be drama. There doesn't.
No,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, Sasquatch will choose you.
Yes.
You don't
Absolutely.
necessarily get to choose.
No, I don't think we get to choose at all.
Mhm.
I think, yeah.
Do you ever encourage people, I mean, I know I've heard of groups out there who bring out tours to
Yeah.
try to find, Sasquatch. May or
Oh,
may not be a good idea or not, but some people do.
mhm.
Do you find that in doing that through meditation and giving them those moments to be able to get to know you in those moments where you're opening up your subconscious and your mind to them. That much like the CE5s, people trying to communicate with, calling the UFOs to them with lasers. Don't do that. They're planes in the sky.
Right.
They tell you don't do that. But the idea is through meditation that it opens you up and that it will bring them to you. Do you think this would apply if anybody's in that situation where they're bringing folks out for an experience?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You mean like having people who have never had an experience?
Yeah, because there
yeah.
are people who come in. I was reading about one thing probably, I don't know, last year sometime, and this group of people just brought an entire 50 people. And everybody go camp. I know. I'm thinking this is never going to have an experience. There was like a group of like 50 people and families, and they're all camping in one spot, and they would go out at night through these different excursions. And lo and behold, like they were having experiences like the Sasquatch of the area are all about it.
Yeah, I'm excited because I am part of a group like that, and I have not had a chance to camp with them yet.
Yeah.
But I am so looking forward to it because I believe it, and I believe that it's going to be a great experience. Yeah.
So is this in your area or is this in a different area?
It's in a different area.
Oh, so you actually get to test out your skills just to see how, because you know what, Michelle, that would sure be interesting to see if there is this sort of if there's this collective thing, quantumly speaking, if it's a collective thing of a collective thinking, then you would be accepted pretty quick because you already have a clan that is pretty much like brought you in.
I agree. And that's one of the things too that we've been talking about in that group is like, if like the Sasquatch will say, and they have told people that if you know one, then you know us all. Right. So if you know one, if you're a friend of one clan, then you're a friend of all clans. Which makes sense to me because especially if they're, on that frequency, that level, and they can communicate like that, then they're all knowing. Right.
Yeah. And I would definitely agree with that theory as well.
I do believe in rogue Sasquatch though.
Oh, let's talk about that. Rogue Sasquatch. Land between the lakes. That's all I'm going to say. Everything's rogue over there.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I've never had any experiences with them, but I mean, if they're just like humans or anything else, there's good ones and there's bad. The majority inherently they're good, but apparently once in a while there's a rogue one, and I think that might be like some of the more aggressive things that you hear about them could just be, the rogue ones.
So what would make you go rogue? Because they had this up in Alaska as well. That's how I found Ron, was after seeing Alaska killer Bigfoot. I had interviewed a couple of people and I'm like, I need this guy. He's all quantum. This is beautiful. And then the rest is history. And here we are. But that's what he said too. He said there was every now and then, they just look at how you're treating the environment and that's it. We come in, they take all the food, they're just disrespectful. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's how humans are, right?
Yes.
Humans snap all the time. So I could only imagine like, that they would too. I've been thinking a lot lately about like how they're different theories about them being angelic or them being, Nephilim or whatever and stuff. But I really feel like they're more like they're more human, but with extra abilities.
Yes,
right? Maybe abilities that we've just forgotten how to use.
I agree.
But
I agree.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so too. And let's factor in something else. Again, getting back to synthetic frequencies or
Mhm.
different organizations that would like to get their hand on such a large specimen and toy around with those frequencies or those abilities or just do things, I mean, if they can mind control people, they can definitely mind control somebody who's very quantum and very telepathic, and those abilities are already there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things that I have been thinking is, so you know how the military has gotten the abilities to cloak, right? So they can do cloaking now. They have
Mhm.
these garments and stuff. Where did they get that from? You know, did they
Oh,
already know about the cloaking abilities that Sasquatch has? Because I know about it. I
mm,
saw it, you know?
yeah, I
So,
mean, you know,
yeah,
when you start getting into things like that, it's such a wide
it makes me
area.
uncomfortable.
It does because, you can take a very gentle being
Yeah,
and turn them into something that super soldiers, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
there's it's far beyond just ability. I think it's sheer brute strength.
yeah,
If you can control what's up here, you can control the sheer brute strength.
yeah. Which totally brings me back to if they wanted to hurt me, they could have done it a million times out in the wilderness, you know,
Yes.
because
Yes.
they can use their mind and their brute strength, you know.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's frightening. It's really scary. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Well,
don't know,
especially with
Michelle.
especially with the males and such, because they can be aggressive to start with. And, like the females will usually sort of keep them in check, ironically enough. But
Yeah.
I think, you're still the protector of your clan.
Oh, yeah.
You're the one that's out there. You're seeing what's going on. You have juveniles,
Yeah.
or babies.
Yeah.
What do you expect? I think they're more like people than most people would look at them. They're like, "I'm just apes or just this or that." No,
Mm-mm.
no, I'm sorry. I don't personally agree with that, but
Mm-mm.
I'm not
Yeah.
the only one. Um,
I have felt that human element from them so many times.
mhm,
I could not agree with anything other than that, you
mm.
know.
So how has this do you feel? How has this evolved you from here to here beyond your ability?
Beyond my
Oh, yeah, beyond your psychic awareness, but just
yeah.
mhm,
Honestly, I feel like it's made me more understanding and a kinder person.
mm,
Because I was really angry. I was a really angry person for a really long time.
mm, yeah,
So, and
yeah,
that person no longer exists.
so see?
Yep, that anger is just gone.
And you've learned that from them?
Absolutely.
See, to me, it
Absolutely.
speaks volumes though, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah, it's really, it just, that's why I can't, you, nobody, you can't tell me they're not real. You know what I mean? Like, this has changed my life dramatically
Mhm.
in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I love that, though. I
Yeah.
love that. I think you have such an incredible journey ahead of you. I think this is all just a beginning. I mean, you're
This
only
is,
2
yeah,
years in to researching, you
yeah,
know, um,
yeah,
I think it's going to be really exciting for you, and I'm very excited for you as well, and maybe you'll even write another book.
absolutely. I'm a writer. I'm not a reader. I won't read books, but
It's
I'll write them.
it's so funny, how some people are. They're
Yeah.
amazing writers and could not be bothered to read. My guest, Samuel Chong, was on last night, was interested in reading a book, but he could only find it in German, and I'm just like, because I don't read German. I'm like, what would you do? Because I translated the whole book. I was just like, and
Oh,
he's
wow.
done this. He goes, now if I find a book from in another language, I'll just translate it because this is what he does. I go,
Yeah.
what AI? Because I was translating books long before AI. I'm like, you're just brilliant.
Right.
I know. But anyway, but thank you so much. Now, how do
Yeah.
people find you? If they have their stories or, if they want to know more about you and your book, I know you can go into the show description with the Amazon link to your book. It's there so people can find you there.
Absolutely. And I have my main Facebook page. I'm a Facebook person. I love it. And I'm
Yeah.
always there and I'm always interacting with people. And that's Michelle Heaton. And then I have my research page, it's a private group. We vet everybody that comes into it.
Mhm.
But anybody is more than welcome to join. And I changed the name recently to shorten it up. Now it's Sweet Home Sasquatch.
It's just
It
like
was
so
just too
easy.
much. It was too much. No more fancy stuff. We're not doing that anymore.
I know. Just find us. We want it to roll off the tongue a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Thank
But
you.
I hit all the festivals too. So I'll be at a lot of festivals this summer in the Pacific Northwest, selling my book and, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the season is upon us too. And that will be listed on your Facebook page
Yes.
whenever you do your events and such.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And the town halls, everything is all listed there.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. And you will be, of course, posting some experiences and such. If they want to follow you and your team, that's essentially the place to go.
absolutely. 100%. Yep.
And you want to hear stories. If it's
Oh, all
especially
the time.
okay.
Yes, please tell me stories.
I don't know. I love it.
Because I won't read them.
No. They're so funny, honestly. You won't read them. Voice to text, but just talk it out. There we go.
Right.
I love it. I love it. Kira says in Southern Illinois, we have a Sasquatch festival every year in Southern Illinois.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, you just have to look it up.
Man.
Do you know the name, Kira? Like, do you know the organization or the name? A place to look for sure. Thank you to both Michelles. You're welcome.
Thank
So
you,
happy
Wayne.
to oblige. Yeah, so I guess you would just have to Google up Sasquatch Festival in Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Like, here we are. Right there. Look at you go, Kira. The
There it
6th
is.
annual Shawnee Sasquatch Festival,
Oh,
scheduled for Saturday, October 3rd, 2026 in Harrisburg, Illinois. A free admission event celebrates Bigfoot lore. Well, thank you for
that is
that.
awesome. Yeah, that's really close there's a Ascension Con in Michigan at the end of August that I've been thinking about going to because it's in my hometown.
That's funny. She says, I had it saved. Well, I think doing the circuit, I think you have a wonderful story to tell. And it's definitely something that people don't be afraid to talk about your dreams because look at might just be a travel, might just be a premonition. I think it's wonderful how it turned out for you. And
Yeah,
it gives, people really want to do this. I'm not saying just go out in the woods, throw caution to the wind. I'm saying just be delicate and gentle with yourself. Don't just go for it all at once. But
right.
if you do come across it, don't panic too much.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yes.
the boundaries, right? If you see
Yes.
something, you just listen and no set of movements. Like, what do you recommend for somebody who comes across they're hearing something that kind of fits the bill? The knocking, the whooping, the smell. What's the
Yeah.
protocol?
Like you said, it's just kind of get a feel for it and just do what your gut tells you to do. If your gut tells you to turn around slowly and walk away, then do that.
Mhm,
But don't ever be aggressive. Don't ever be just
mhm.
don't do that. Don't be that way because chances are the more aggressive you are, the less of a good experience you're going to have. So,
And that doesn't factor in infrasound.
yeah.
A
And
good
for
shot of
some,
that,
we
right?
experienced that one time.
with
Yeah.
a big angry guy.
It was weird. I don't even know. We'll have to talk about it next time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next time it is. You're
Next
welcome back anytime you want.
It's a long story, Michelle.
I say we'll just do it. But for all of you guys who've been in the chat room tonight, as always, you guys are awesome. And again, apologies, not quite sure what happened with Rumble. I know we had a glitch with Facebook, with YouTube yesterday on last night's show. Apparently just on my YouTube, not the networks. But anyway, it's split the show into two pieces, which is completely bizarre. I have no idea what's going on. But thank you all again for tuning in to The Outer Realm with myself, Michelle DeRoche, and my special guest, Michelle Heaton. All kinds of Michelles. We had a Michelle in the chat room as well. It's just awesome. But next week, giving you guys a heads up, no cryptid legends. That'll be the week after. Tuesday on The Outer Realm, or Beyond the Outer Realm, Jennifer Jakovsky returns talking about her book, Spheres of Consciousness. So that's going to be great. An individual guidebook for those who wish to embark on their own personal journey of evolution and wanting to remember who they are. Because, yes, remembering who we are, because life's cruel joke is we come back here, we have no freaking clue who we are. And that's pretty much the gist of it. It's how we all feel. Wednesday night, author and paranormal researcher Jason Tavares joins me, and he's going to be talking about his highly strange experiences with us, his paranormal experiences and other experiences well beyond the field of the paranormal. And he will share his thoughts on research, community, that kind of thing. And next Thursday, I am pleased to welcome my friend Eric Werner, who is co-owner of Dark Moon Press, author of over 50 books and growing. I can't believe how fast this man spits out books. It's incredible. Anyway, he's going to be discussing one of those amazing books called The Vampire Cult Killer, the real story of Rob Farrell. And his book takes a really deep dive into the case. So for anybody who's, I don't often do those kind of shows. I think I've done it once with JFK, and this will be the second time in all my years. But because Eric wrote it, and I know he's a very thorough researcher, and he writes a really good book. So anyway, tune in. And big thank you to Folgers Coffee. Big thank you to Steve McGinnis. Big thank you to the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM, 107.7 FM. Have a great weekend, and we will see you all next week. Good night.